Hi, this is Tim Campsell with Action Coach of Indiana and our Business Spotlight series. The purpose is to interview local business owners and promote them through our social channels and email database as a way to help the community. We know that when every small business is strong, then the economy is strong. And today I have the pleasure of talking with Bill and Dennis. Welcome to the show, guys. It's great to have you on.
Great to be here.
Yeah, thank you for inviting us.
Fantastic. Well, hey, before we get into the business side, I'd love you guys to both introduce yourself and just tell us a little bit about you personally.
Okay. Bill and I, we've known each other for almost 30 years. I grew up in Wisconsin. Not sure we have a copy machine that's wants to work right now. I've worked in agriculture, working in the seed industry since I was in college. And I've stayed in that industry all my life. And we work with seed today here. And we sell treatments that go on seed to help protect it for the first 6 weeks of its life. And then the treatment has done its job, and then we move on to the next crop to service people. But yeah, I lived here in Carmel, our business here in Westfield, for about 23 years now. And I have 2 kids, and they both live here, one in Carmel and one in Westfield. So I'm pretty fortunate, and that I have my kids, right here with me. So
Wonderful. And Dennis, what's your last name? I didn't tell
Tauchen, Dennis Tauchen.
Wonderful. Dennis, it's awesome to have you on the show. How old are your kids?
31 and 25.
Wonderful. All right, Bill, have you introduced yourself?
First off, Dennis, don't forget about your grandchild.
Oh yes, I do have a grandchild. So yeah, Atherton. So he is 9 years old in 3rd grade now.
Wonderful. Awesome. All right, Bill, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you.
Exactly. Well, Tim, like I said, it's great to be here. Great to meet you. As stated, my name is Bill Haubner. Dennis mentioned we've known each other now for probably 30 plus years. When we first started, prior to this company, worked for a company based out of Ames, Iowa, doing similar type activities as we do here today. And then I was transferred into the home office as a national sales manager. At that point in time is when I reached out and connected with Dennis and hired him as my replacement territory. We continued that for about 4 years. The company went through a financial debacle. At that point in time, Dennis had the wild idea to start a company, asked me if I'd like to join him. And I guess you want to say now the rest is history. 25 years later, we're still going strong. We actually started the business out of his garage 25 years ago. And here we sit today in a beautiful office and a warehouse over about 20,000 square foot and another office and warehouse next door. So like Dennis, I came out of a small town in Southern Illinois. My father owned a welding radiator shop. I really didn't grow up on a farm. Went to school at SIU, majored in agriculture, and got my first opportunity to be a crop scout with a crop scouting firm out in Naperville, Illinois. And so, like I said, we started the business back in 1996, and I've been in the seed industry now for almost 35 years.
Wow, fantastic. And what about family?
Family, married. I actually live in Dallas, Texas. I have one daughter who is living in Dallas, and then I have another daughter who lives in Nashville, going to school in Belmont.
Awesome, fantastic. And Dennis, where in Wisconsin, where are you from?
I'm grew up on a dairy farm about 20 miles outside of Green Bay.
Okay.
So yeah, big Packer fan.
Yeah.
I've got there was 10 10 kids in the family, so. And one thing my mom and dad were really proud of is the fact that 8 of us work in agriculture. So,
The reason I ask is I used to live in Wisconsin. So I lived in Milwaukee for a little bit, but then also lived in Sheboygan County working at Sargento Cheese.
oh, yeah. My uncle was a cheesemaker there in Sheboygan. He lived in Sheboygan.
Okay, awesome. Small world. All right,
Yes.
guys. Tell me a little bit more about the business. Who's gonna take that one?
I'll let you talk on that one, Bill.
Well, first off, Tim, I mean, when you say tell us about the bill, what would you like to hear? What would you like to know?
Yep. Tell us the basics, right? The name of the business, what you guys do, how it is that you're different from maybe other people in your field.
Right. Well, so the name of the company is Direct Enterprises. We're based here in Westfield, Indiana, and we service the seed industry from seed companies all the way down to the grower. And the primary focus of our company is that we sell seed treatments and seed treating equipment. Now, there are other activities that we perform in the field, but that is our core business. With about, I would say, 85% of our business coming from a seed dealer segment of the marketplace.
Wonderful. And so my neighbor works at Bex. Would they be somebody that you work with?
So
Or they-
Bex would be considered a national seed company. We
Okay.
do have a great relationship with Sonny Beck, a lot of their employees. I've known Sonny for probably almost 40 years. So we do some business with Bex, as well as they do some activities with us too.
Awesome, fantastic. So then who's your customer, your ideal customer, or what we call a target audience? Who are the people that buy from you?
Well, again, like I said, I mean, when you look at the market that we service, we really work in 4 different segments of the market. And that is what I call your traditional seed companies, the cooperative / retail, which is a very small segment of the business. The largest percentage of our business is the seed dealer of multiple brands. It might be a Pioneer dealer, Channel dealer, a Stein dealer, so any brand. And then we do have some activity with large growers, primary in the Mid-South. So when you look at the geographics that we cover, if you look at the corn and soybean belt, that is our marketplace. And we currently have 11 salespeople in the field.
Correct.
So we have 11 people in the field that are promoting our products and services each and every day.
Wonderful, fantastic. So, in business since 1996, I heard you say, so congratulations, that is awesome. COVID has had an impact on a lot of businesses over the last 18 months. So what's the biggest impact that it had on you guys?
Dennis?
Well, it did have an impact on us. Not for the first, 6 months or so, but after that, yes, there was a slowdown in supplies, getting supplies for us. And so, yes, we did take a hit from there. But this year, I mean, we're coming back with a real vengeance, I should say, because our sales are way beyond anything we've ever had before.
Oh, congratulations, that's awesome.
Yeah. So the guys are really stepping up and taking advantage of some of the other suppliers aren't traveling. We traveled, we never slowed our guys down. And we, being in agriculture, we're considered a necessary business. So we were able to stay open here and that really did help us. And then we were able to put some new programs in place. And when we implemented those, that really took off.
Right, I'm glad to hear that. So everybody has also had to pivot, during this time to find ways to make the business survive through the pandemic. What's one thing that you guys did differently that made a big difference for your business in terms of a pivot that you might have made?
Well, Tim, it's a great question. I would say that there was probably at least a handful or two of things that we did do. So from a pivot standpoint, I mean, from product, customer, I don't think there's a lot of change there. Probably the biggest thing that we have done, and whether this is a pivot or a necessity, that we realize, I call it the COVID hangover. So this is this is the tail that we're now dealing with the supply chain debacle and nightmare.
Right.
So the thing that we did, if you want to say pivot, or the stake that we drove in the ground, said, okay, we see that this whole supply chain is going to be an issue today, carried forward for another 6 to 12 months. So Dennis and I sat down here probably 4 or 5 weeks ago and said, what we're going to do is we're going to get ourselves in a position where we have 80% of our needs for the upcoming year secured at a good price point going forward.
Mm.
So, I mean, as we look at that, I think it's one of the best decisions that we have made within the last 6 months.
That's awesome. Wow. All right. So on the flip side, I like to ask this. This is a fun question. It's an interesting question. It's been said that smart people learn from their mistakes and wise people learn from the mistakes of others. Right? So what's a mistake that you guys have made along the way that you'd be willing to share to help other entrepreneurs learn from your experience?
Well, you go.
Yeah, we're laughing because a few years ago, 10 years ago, we bought a feed mill in Kentucky. Now, feed is not related to seed at all.
Uh-huh.
And what we did learn is stay in your swim lane, as Bill likes to say, and don't venture out, and stay with what you know. Yes, that is what you should do.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that was not a wise investment. Took us 8.5 years to sell it again. But we did find a buyer, and
Okay.
he helped us out. We still lost a lot of money, but we got out.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
And,
What do you
and I,
guys-
and I would agree with Dennis. Like I said, I mean, at the end of the day, stay in your swim lane and stay focused.
Yes.
As an entrepreneur, because that's the way you are wired, it's very, very difficult to do that because you're always looking for new opportunities. And a book that I love to reference all the time, Who Moved My Cheese?
Yes.
It's a very delicate balance of focusing, swim lane, but yet not letting your cheese go stale.
I love it. That is an awesome book. So what do you guys feel is going to be your biggest challenge over the next 12 months?
Well, we've tried to, as Bill said, lock in our position with supplies, and it's not only our active ingredients, but it's bottles, it's drums, it's paper products, boxes, stuff we have to, have. And so we pre-ordered a lot of those things to come in. We don't have the space for everything all at once, but we have it for every couple months. We have a truckload of this or that coming in. And so those POs are already placed with their vendors. And there shouldn't be any issue in getting them. So, I mean, that's, you said, what's the biggest challenge? That we're trying to make it so we don't have as big a challenges as we had late in the year last year.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, last question here, guys. What's been most inspiring to you both during all the craziness of the past 18 months?
been inspiring to me is our people that work for us. You know, I know a lot of other businesses have a hard time finding employees. And whether it's warehouse people to our salespeople, we have had no problem finding. And so we've been very fortunate. And most of our employees, they feel like they are part of the company. And they make it that way, and they're willing to spend the time to make things right if something happens, you know. And you know, I really appreciate that.
And Tim, I would add to that, saying that, you know what, we are truly blessed from the standpoint that we have employees, like Dennis said, that not only come to work for a paycheck, I mean, they come to work as if they own the company.
Mm.
And we've all heard, we've talked to a lot of people, you want to say 30 years, and so you want, if you have a couple of employees that embrace the company that way, you're a blessed owner. I would say that all our employees embrace the company as if they own it. Now, we will also admit some at a higher level of ownership embracement than others, but at the end of the day, they're there. As noted, we just celebrated our 25th year of business. 2 weeks ago, we had a celebration party here. We invited in a lot of customers, vendors, what I call outside support. And as both Dennis and I said in our warehouse, which we had set up a table, we had probably about 80 people here.
Yeah, 85.
About 80, 85 people here, including employees, family members, etc. I mean, it was just a joy, a thrill. I mean, it was beyond believement that we had this type of moment, and the support that all these people have given us. As I like to say time and time again, that they have blown the winds of success into our sail.
Mm.
And they continue to do it. And for all that, we're so appreciative.
That is awesome. Well, congratulations on having such amazing employees. And I love that that's been your inspiration. So Dennis and Bill, that does conclude our interview. For folks listening to this, if you've heard something that's piqued your interest and you'd like to learn more, we will have their contact information here in the comment section below in this video. So please reach out to them, visit their website, give them a call, email them, take advantage of the opportunity to learn more about how a local family or a local private business can help your needs. And as you heard in this interview, because they're a private business, a local business, they're gonna do things differently than those larger organizations are. And the service levels that you just heard in this interview are gonna be different than at those bigger companies. They have supplies. Look, they bought ahead to make sure they can service you. So please reach out to them and see how they can help you. Dennis and Bill, it's been a pleasure having you on the show today, and wish you guys tremendous success for the next 25 years.
Yeah.
Well,
thank
again,
you.
Tim, thank you so much for inviting us. We enjoyed the exchange of ideas and conversation.
Fantastic, guys. All right, well, have yourself an awesome day.
Thank you.
Thank you.